She's got this. She's got this. I'm so sorry.
I love
I
how
literally thought I came prepared.
I love how you every single time, without a doubt. I remember you saying to me like, "Oh, I got this Google Pixel. Look how responsive it is." And you'd be like, "Hey Google, like wipe my ass. Hey Google, pour me a drink."
Yeah.
I would say the last 9 times out of 10 that you've said, "Hey Google," to do something, it doesn't work.
It really doesn't.
It does not work.
I think it's like if you don't treat her nicely, if you just like demand her, then she like don't even talk to me until you change that tone.
It'd be hilarious if it was like, you could have said please.
Right. Yeah, that's good.
Which I feel like most AI will probably do that.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
as a means to
They're gonna
teach us
teach
manners.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's definitely going to be a thing, weirdly enough. Probably soon enough. Anyway. Cheers. 4 Roses Friday.
If you've noticed in the video, me and Cory are wearing opposite colors.
Kind of. Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah.
He's got gray shirt, blue pants. I got gray pants, blue shirt.
Yeah, that's true. And I have brown shoes, which is an
And
opposite
he's
of
got
black
blonde
shoes.
hair, and I got brown hair. Or
That's
reddish blonde. I don't know.
4 Roses small batch. 4 Roses Friday. I'm always stoked to drink 4 Roses on a Friday. Any bourbon on a Friday is a good combination.
That's
Plus,
true.
I poured myself a big gulp because my tooth is still fucking killing me.
Really?
I'm pretty sure it's getting infected, and I think I need antibiotics, but I'm just reluctant to. I took Tylenol. I keep taking Tylenol to just let the pain subside, and then I also took one of Tom's dog antibiotics.
No.
So I'm hoping that kicks in soon.
Yeah.
See what happens.
Mom had a meltdown.
Yeah, why?
She told me today, well, how do I put this?
Is this appropriate for podcasting?
Yeah.
Okay.
This should be documented in case she, like, kills one of us.
Oh, Jesus. What do you mean one of us?
Well, I don't know, bro. Crazy people, you don't know what they're going to do.
Okay, so explain the
Anyways,
situation.
she thought she was going crazy because
Because she thinks she's Ace Ventura?
No. She saw 2 finches
Yeah.
in the backyard. Domestic, clearly. Or I would say that. No,
Yeah,
they're parakeets.
Yeah, I know. No, they're canaries. I saw her post. Yeah, continue though.
There's 2 canaries in her backyard, and clearly they were domesticated animals.
Canary in the coal mine?
Yeah. And
okay, continue.
It was a husband and wife. Just moved into the corner yard. And it was raining, and it was cold yesterday.
Yeah.
And Mom
Mom?
tried to be a savior to the animals. She's an animal, I don't even know what you call it.
Lover?
Yeah.
She's a lover of animals.
But also provider, so she's like motherly.
Yeah, so she
feeds the
she
local.
feeds them. There's like Cheerios all over her deck.
There's like cats and, well, here's the thing. There's a lot of squirrels. There's a lot of birds. And there's a lot of hawks.
There's a lot of hawks that wait for the squirrels and birds.
Literally just stare at those fucking squirrels. like it's like one of them going to get picked off.
Yeah, Mom doesn't realize the disruption she's putting forward on the ecosystem.
But she saw these canaries in the backyard, and she's like, I have to save them because they're going to die out here. They're not made to survive.
Does Mom have 2 birds now?
So she grabbed an old trash can and tried to like trap them into a trash can. And she tried several times. And it got to the point where she couldn't capture them and she literally broke down hysterically. And then thought she was going crazy.
So you let the birds die. That's number 1.
Yeah.
I know that sounds terrible, but domesticated birds are not going to survive out in the wild.
No.
They're going to get picked off real fast.
Yeah. Oh, that looks like the cat that lived with us.
But
It's like
but second to that, I don't know if that's worth a meltdown.
Well, she's just
there's a lot of meltdown scenarios.
Yeah.
So it was like the thing that put her over the edge, I assume, right? Yeah, that's a bummer. That's sad.
But I told her, I was like,
she
Mom,
okay now?
I was like, Mom, I've been there. I don't think you understand.
You've killed many mice.
Had a dream. I was like watching the planes. I was sitting in the planes.
Do you have a dream like of owning birds?
No.
Okay.
It's just as bad though. I was sitting in a giant field, probably in like Nebraska. All right? There's all these wild horses running around. All these beautiful brown, blonde, black, pimento or whatever it is when they're black and white. Not like the cheese, but like, what are they when they're like black and white? What color is that? I don't know. You know what I'm talking about. The cow-looking horses. And
A zebra?
no. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, they were attacked by a pack of wolves.
Oh, yeah.
And they started shredding the horses to pieces. And you'd think being in a giant field or giant plains that they would run. But no, they just stood there. And I was screaming in the top of my lungs in my dream.
Yeah.
And I watched these horses get obliterated by a pack of wolves. And
Which is weird because you've had dreams about being a wolf.
Yeah, and I love it. But here's the thing. I woke up and I was having a panic attack. I was in a state where I was crying and I didn't know how to address it.
Yeah.
But the only thing that kept crossing my mind is, how the fuck do I save these horses? And I spent an hour, a good hour. Woke up, panicked, crying, spent an hour thinking strategically how I was going to save these horses.
Post-dream, you were worried about how you were actually going to save horses.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting.
Yeah, and none of it made sense. Like, I was so delirious. Like,
do you think that was Mom with the Canaries?
Yes, I really do. I really do.
Yeah, that's an interesting thing. So I was watching one of my new favorite shows. It's called Dave. It's on FX. And I started watching it because of Andrew Santino, because he's one of my favorite comedians. And then...
Talking about the rapper?
Yeah, so then Little Dicky is the rapper, who is a real rapper, and I think Little Dicky's hilarious. And I really love the show. And there's part of the show last night in the episode where he hits a bunny on the way to a wedding, and it's just kind of like twitching in the middle of the street, and his girlfriend is trying to get him to take it to a vet, and he's like, we're in the middle of nowhere. Like, you could tell that he was less concerned about the animal than he was, you know, just like, let's get out of here. And then she asks him to kill it, and he goes to back over the animal, and she was like, no, you got to keep going left. And he just nicks its ears, runs over its ears, but it's still alive. So he has to go back forward and then run over it again. So it just kind of reminds me of like the helplessness of like, what do you do in that situation? You can't take it to the vet. You put it out of its misery. You have to kill it. Yeah. She's in this situation with these two canaries. Yeah. That she doesn't know what to do. There's really no reasonable thing for her to do. Even if she were to capture them, what's she going to do? Raise a couple canaries, buy a bird cage, and have them in the house? Like, what are you going to do?
I think she just wanted the peace of mind for her to feel like she made a difference.
Yeah, but I feel like there's no good outcome.
No, not really.
Other than you've just inherited two canaries. It's almost like when you see stray cats, which they're everywhere, right? Yeah. In Ohio, in particular, stray cats all over the place, right?
A lot of pussy
and
running
then
around.
There's a ton of pussy running around. And a cat will come to your back door. And you go, and you're like, oh, this fucking cat, it's all by itself, blah, blah, blah. It's
and
like,
you say, I didn't call you, pussy.
It's all alone in the world, and you feel bad for it, and then you feed it, and it keeps coming back to your door. It's like, well, now you have a cat problem.
Yeah. You got pussy
So sometimes you just got to let the cat be a cat, just like you got to let a bird be a bird.
It's like, I thought I told you not to come to my house or text me when my wife's home. Pussy.
And it's like,
yeah, pussy.
It starts purring and swiping its head on your leg.
Don't touch me, pussy.
I can tell you've been in the woods, you dirty pussy.
Yeah, I don't know what it was, man, but I felt for her.
Yeah, that
sucks.
sucks.
I've been there.
Yeah, I mean, yours was a dream. This was real life. But yeah.
Maybe mine's worse? Is that what you're saying?
No. I think situationally, Mom's is probably a lot worse. I get the helplessness of it. Yeah. I truly do. I understand because I'm a huge, all animals. Like, I'm fascinated by animals.
Huge PETA supporter.
I'm a huge PETA supporter. I support everything they do. Damned all for wearing fur coats. Mm-hmm. I've just made a pledge to go full vegan, and not vegan for health reasons, vegan for cruelty to animal reasons. Just no more,
Yeah, you went strictly on a pita diet. Like, all you eat is pita bread.
Pita bread, that's it. That's it. Yeah. I don't even like faux fur. I don't even like the idea of you saying that this is anything related to fur at all.
I had a jacket with faux fur on it back in the day.
Yeah, everybody did.
And it made me look like I was in My Chemical Romance.
Dude, I miss them. I still listen to that Black Parade song all the time. It's in my playlist. Yeah. It's pretty good. That was like My Chemical Romance matured.
I tried to
The
look.
earlier stuff is a little.
I tried to look for our old band shit online. It's non-existent.
You can't find it. I actually text Andy like probably a month and a half ago, and I was like, dude, do you have like any digital copies of our music like anywhere? Because I thought I had a CD, like a master copy, and I couldn't find it.
Yeah.
And I was like looking all over for it, and I just couldn't find it. And there's just like there's no record of it. It's like washed off the face of the earth.
Yeah, I'll find some. I bet you Jake Morver's got it.
I feel like somebody's got it, and I would love to have a digital copy of it.
Our footprints everywhere, but you literally can't listen to a single song.
Which is weird because we actually had some pretty dope songs. That last one that we released, and a lot of people don't know. Obviously, I don't even really think we talked about it on the podcast before, but we used to play music together, and we had some hitters.
Yeah.
We had some good hitters, man. We had some good songs. You know, I actually thinking about like a few weeks ago, I was like, what would it take for you just to bring your amp over and your guitar?
You'd take me a trip to Mom's.
That would be it.
Yeah.
We could literally jam out.
That's true.
It'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Because we haven't played in a long time.
Yeah, I sing a lot, so like I'm greatly improved.
Yeah, I don't play drums. I mean, obviously I play now. I play as much as I can. Quarantine's kind of weird because like Lauren's here and like I don't want to disrupt her work, but like if she's gone, I immediately hop behind the drum set. Yeah. So even if I get 15, 20 minutes in a day, I've been trying new shit and getting back to the old habits of trying to keep time. So I've been playing with a metronome in my ear and like it's getting back. It's like getting back on the bike, man.
I want to listen to Dang, man.
Dude, we had some good shit.
Like I know, like
I even like the names to our songs.
Like I know it doesn't hold any weight in this day and age of music.
Yeah, definitely not.
And people would be like, "That's garbage," but back then, it was popular.
You know what's weird is that because we own it, we could make it our intro music. We could just literally have it on the podcast.
That's true.
It'd be funny.
Totally
go in as old intro stuff, dude. You know what's weird is like I never think about those days and any regret because they were arguably some of like literally the best days of my entire life when we played music.
Yeah.
Man, it was crazy.
You know how many tits we signed?
There's a lot of titties.
A lot of titties.
Yeah.
I don't think you realize that. Imagine a bunch of early 20-year-olds signing titties.
You know what's weird about it too is like back then, because I mean, I was not an attractive person when I started playing music. I was kind of short, fat, buzzed head,
dude. My
acne. Like I was arguably not good looking at all.
Yeah.
But I will tell you this, and you know this as well as I do. Playing in a band and playing music, it was like almost literally in high school and then post high school, anything you wanted.
Yeah,
it really was like that. It was like you could date anybody that you wanted.
Yep.
You could talk to anybody that you wanted.
It was
a very strange thing.
At the time, I think I was 22, and that's when I earned my title of Creepy Chris.
Oh yeah, that's
we'll
right.
We'll save that story for another time.
That's right.
But that said, I was really good at creeping girls out. And I did that to protect all of us band members because all of us had girlfriends.
Yeah.
And it was starting to get a bit obnoxious.
Yeah.
Because we were having like 16-year-olds saying like, "I will suck your dick right now.
Yeah.
I will just let's go outside."
Probably gonna have to beep that out, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But anyways.
Hey, no one ever acted on anything for Christ's sake.
No one acted on anything.
But there was definitely some slutty sluts.
But then we would even get hit on by like moms.
Oh yeah.
That would take their teenage daughters to the fucking shows.
Oh yeah, that definitely happened too.
And there was one
that was weird.
There was one in particular down towards Cincinnati at the Underground. She'd always come see us if we played there. And she tried to make her rounds on all of us.
Oh yeah, that was a very strange.
Where she'd flirt with one of us and then we'd be like, no. And then she'd like move on to the next band member.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I remember that. I remember her.
Yeah, she's short.
Didn't she date somebody that
she sent me a bunch of photos?
Oh, yeah, that's right. The old vaggy vag.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. It was like when flip phones were a thing.
Yeah.
Or it was very grainy pictures.
Yeah, I forget what phone I have, but yeah, it was a flip phone.
Where like the vaginas looked like someone assembled them out of Legos. They were so pixelated.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember those days.
Yeah.
That was crazy. iPhones didn't exist then.
Mm-mm.
That was strange times. That was probably that would have been more than 10 years ago. Been about 12 years ago.
I looked up a video that somehow was still on YouTube of us.
Mm-hmm.
And it was 13 years ago.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's so wild. I would love to get a copy of that music. I have a master CD somewhere, but I for
the
life of me
video
don't
sounded
know where it
like
is.
shit. So like if you do find us, just know we didn't sound like that.
Oh yeah, definitely not.
There's
I mean,
some
it's like-
venues that like we didn't even have monitors on the ground. We couldn't hear shit.
yeah, it was most of them were pretty bad, but we did some cool things, man. We did some cool things. We played some really big shows.
Yeah, I know.
We played in front of, I mean, for being local, we played in front of a decent chunk of people. And that was weird. That was like, it was the first time in my life where I felt that I was good at focusing on something.
Yeah.
Like I was so focused on being good at music that like, because I hadn't figured out, I mean, no one does that early on. Like
Yeah.
I started playing drums when I was 10. So no one ever figures out early on what they want to do in life. And I wasn't even fully committed on like, yeah, musician is going to be my life. It wasn't that. It was just that from a hobbyist perspective, from something I truly loved and enjoyed, like I wanted to be the best I could be at it.
Yeah.
And it was like every show we play energized me more. Every practice we did energized me more. Every little cool thing that I could try that was new made me just want to do it more and more and more and more and more.
And we would do like 4 or 5 days a week practicing for like 2 to 3 hours.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we spent a lot of time playing music. It was a lot of fun.
I remember when before we did like small little tours or like big shows, we'd go 5 days straight
Oh yeah, it was crazy.
until the show.
It was like practice non-fucking stop.
Yeah.
But, you know, practice makes progress.
Yeah. All I kept thinking about was all them beautiful women.
Dude, there's way too many fucking... You know what's weird? Especially that time. I don't know how it is anymore. Like, are there high school bands? Is that still a thing?
I think it's kind of a thing, but
But like where? Where do they play? All the venues we played at, they don't exist.
gone.
So like where do people play?
I don't know, man. I really don't know.
I don't think it's a thing. I mean,
I think
maybe
it's
I'm
mostly
crazy,
online, maybe.
I guess, but it's like you remember being able to like pack up your shit and you're promoting a show. You've got a show, maybe it's coming up in 2 weeks. It's like, we're going to play this show in 2 weeks. We're a part of this lineup, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, we're going to go play this show. And then you'd promote it at school. Like when we were in high school, you promote it at school, you promote it with your friends. You could try to get people from out of town. You get other people at other schools gaining interest. And then you show up a venue at like Friday night and you're like ready to roll.
Yeah.
And then all you know, there's a couple hundred fucking people that are there to watch you
Mm-hmm.
and just jam out and fucking party. And it was like, that was crazy, man. I don't think that happens anymore.
I don't really think it does either.
That's so weird to think about. Because there was decent. I mean, they weren't decent, but there was enough venues to play at in the area.
Yeah, there's enough.
There's like no shortage of like, if you wanted to hop on something or schedule something weeks out, you could do it.
Yeah, that's true.
But that's not a thing anymore. Like those places aren't open.
No, they're gone.
I think that era is gone.
Yeah.
I really do think people play less shows, and that's what frustrates me about stuff being overproduced now is like, you could lay down a drum track, you could lay down a guitar track and never have anybody touch their instrument.
Yeah, no.
Most people make and produce music now, and then they have to figure out how to play it.
Yeah,
That's a strange thing.
The only true instrument that is hard to avoid doing it is vocals.
Yeah, and even then you have auto-tune. So
I know.
fuck that. I remember when that was the thing. You'd have all these mediocre fucking singers at best.
God,
Throw
yeah.
some auto-tune on. It's like, well, that's pretty obvious. Because auto-tune back then was more of a synth feature than it was actually tuning your voice.
Yeah, because autotune back then did not work live.
No, you couldn't do it live.
Yeah, it sounded like garbage.
Yeah. So it's a weird, interesting thing that just like in an evolution of 10 years, how different that is now.
Yeah.
Just even the way music is produced. Like, because we sold CDs.
Yeah.
There was no digital copy. Spotify, Pandora, like none of that existed.
No.
Those were not things. So you had to sell a CD. We would bring CDs to shows to sell.
We'd have them produced and packaged and
How weird is that?
have our shirt. We would print our own shirts most of the time. Like we'd make our own shirts.
Yeah, that was a strange fucking thing. That was when MySpace was big.
That was when MySpace.
You
was
do all
big.
that promotion through MySpace, man, and that was like, that's how you got big.
That's how we got on Taste of Chaos and
That's right.
Warped Tour.
Yep. Fucking weird.
Mm.
Oh, the times that are changing.
Like our MySpace, we have hundreds of thousands of plays.
It's so strange. It's so strange. And that ended years ago.
Yeah.
Like, no one's been on MySpace since, like, what, 2004?
Yeah, we were like killing it when
I
we were.
know, it'd have been about 2008.
When we were in the local scene, we were killing it.
Mm-hmm.
Man, it's fucking wild.
It is weird. It is weird.
What a nostalgic episode.
I know.
Huh?
I'm just glad that I'm back to playing again, because it's not only like a stress relief, but it makes me feel good. Like I'll put on these headphones.
Yeah.
I have headphones wrapped up back there, and I'll just plug them into my phone, and I'll just play tracks of like certain songs I love listening to, or I'll make like new drum tracks to songs that have maybe slower tracks, and then I'll do some intricate fills and like intricate snare hits and all that stuff, and try to like beef up, and it's fun. I just sit behind the drums for 45 minutes to an hour and just play.
I sing in the shower, my French shower.
Yeah.
Because it like the acoustics are so good.
Yeah.
And I like have my Google Mini sitting in the counter.
Can see you doing that.
And I'm literally singing at the top of my lungs.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's weird. It's weird to think about. It's weird to like rewind that long, because it doesn't seem like that was that long ago, but it was that long ago.
It's weird to think that there's
damn near half my life.
It's weird to think there's someone on the other side of that wall that hears me singing and doesn't realize on the other side of her wall, I'm naked and I'm singing.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine walking around and you like down the street and you got a naked guy singing at the top of his lungs?
That'd be a strange.
It'd be strange,
thing.
wouldn't it?
That'd be strange.
You wouldn't want to fuck with him.
No, definitely not.
You'd be like, ew.
Definitely not. You're not fucking with that guy.
No.
You know, I always say that if someone messes with you, you just got to get crazy.
That dude.
Just go crazy.
Drop trowel.
Drop trowel. Fling your dick around.
Fling your dick around, and I swear to you, no one will want to touch you.
No one's gonna mess with you if you're flinging your ding donger around.
You just like pull it. It's like, oh, it's like taffy. Yeah.
You might touch it.
Oh, and then you spit on your dick. No one wants to witness you spitting on your own dick. And he's like, ooh.
You spit on yours, and you go, you spit on it too. Spit on it.
Spit on it.
Pull yours out. I'm gonna spit on it.
We're gonna fight. This is so hot. No one would fuck with you.
No, they definitely wouldn't. Before we get into a break, this is just like a really more of a shout out thing. So this morning, because I wasn't able to watch it last night, the guys at Crown Heads and Ace Prime came up with this idea called Keep the Lights On, which is essentially, well, it's called thebaldbox.com. So it is a subscription-based site, but the subscription-based site, not like other ones that you've seen, fully benefit those that work at B&Ms, right? A lot of people are struggling. Brick and mortar stores are not obviously open. Sure. Curbside service is not as appealing, obviously, for folks. Just the accessibility of it is just diminished greatly as a result of being shut down. So Ace Prime and Crown Heads came with this idea called the Bulb Box, which essentially is a subscription-based platform that allows you to procure their cigars and Ace Prime cigars and others hopefully soon to follow. And the proceeds go to the nearest brick and mortar. So they have associated number codes with the brick and mortar. So let's say hypothetically we wanted to support those at B&G's. We could buy the subscription box. B&G has their number since they are a Crown Heads. Obviously, they're a Crown Heads retailer. And the proceeds would go to them. And there's things that happen on the back. I know people have a hard time fathoming what it is, but it can be explained. Actually, it was explained this morning because it was interesting enough. The girls at the TLE podcast, their recent podcast was all about like, you know, what can brick and mortars do? What do they have at their disposal? What is the challenges? What are the objections? How do they continue to stay in business? And I had just got done watching the live stream that they recorded last night explaining the whole thing. So I just tagged a couple people in it. I tagged in Crown Heads and Ace Prime and was like, you know, this is something that you should check out and look into. And then a couple other people bounced in, like, yeah, I heard about it, but I don't understand it, blah, blah, blah. So through that exchange, it was explained about what the intention is and what it does long term for those brick and mortar stores that don't have an online presence. So I thought it was really cool. And what I would say for most people is that if you're wanting to support brick and mortar and you're a fan of Crown Heads and then now going to hopefully be a fan of Ace Prime, as they are kind of one and the same, or at least being distributed by Crown Heads, check it out.
Let's be examples.
Baldbox.com.
Why don't we be examples?
And subscribe?
Yeah, and I will post my
subscribe.
receipt. I'll post my receipt.
I'll subscribe to it. I actually even thought about it this morning. I was like, well, that's a subscription I could get down with.
Yeah, I'll post my receipt on social. I know you don't see shit from me on social.
Yeah, you don't even post anymore.
But I'll post this.
Yeah, you definitely don't post anymore.
Yeah, well, you know.
Post Malone. You're like Post Alone.
I'm trying to be incognito to prevent the dick photos.
Yeah, that's probably a good thought. Let's get into it. We have a special episode today, which is probably going to be a shit show. I'm not going to lie. And all because of Chris. It's 100% his fault. But it is it's going to be an interesting episode. We do have 2 cigar reviews today, but we don't know what they are.
And we picked cigars for each other.
We did. We have no idea what they are. So it is essentially a blind review. So we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back at you guys in just a minute. Hang tight. All right, we're back.
Sure are.
We're back, and we are essentially doing blind reviews. Now, here's what we're doing today, just as an explanation for everybody. Chris and I usually take time out of the episode, obviously, the latter half of the episode, to break down a particular cigar that we both know what it is going into it. This week is different, however, because we don't know what these cigars are. I picked one for Chris, he picked one for me, and we have no idea what we smoked. We both smoked these yesterday, broke them down, and the only condition of which we know about these cigars is the vitola itself. That's it. We don't know anything else.
We don't know the price. It's still based on our grading scale that we do it. 60 passable points broken down into 3 main categories. 10 points for construction, 20 points for burn, 30 points for flavor. It's the same spiel. We're just doing it without knowing who the fuck it is.
Which we're calling Secret Smoke.
Sure.
Yeah. My lame-ass name.
Or like,
I can't think of anything
I'm
else.
blind!
Yeah. You ready to get into it? I'm really excited about it. Because we gotta knock out 2 of them. So we got
Or accessibility for cigars.
Yeah.
For the blind, deaf, and retarded.
How do we do like a play on Braille?
Yeah, I know.
That'd be
We'll
funny.
figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
We didn't really think that far ahead.
We didn't think that far
We thought
ahead.
it was a fun thing to do.
Yeah. So who wants to begin? Well, first of all, Chris, can you actually do the rating scale real quick so everybody who's new to the episode knows how we break these down?
Yeah, sure. Each cigar review is based on our 60-point rating scale and is broken down into 3 main categories. 10 points for construction, 20 points for burn, and 30 points for flavor. We then deduct points for less than optimal construction, burn, and flavor and see if the cigar is worth the price for a possible 1% bonus or deduction. Tricky point is, we don't know what it costs.
We have no idea.
So we can't do that. But that's okay, because at the end, we will determine if it is worth more or less.
Yes.
And then finally, we average out our individual scores, giving you guys our total cigar rating out of 60.
All right. The question is now, who wants to go first?
Well, I want you to go first because mine's a shit show.
So my cigar was question mark cigar, rolled in question mark factory with question mark filler, question mark binder, question mark wrapper. And the only thing I know is that it's a Toro 6x50.
Yep.
It's the only information I have on this cigar. What I'll say about this cigar is actually construction-wise was really awesome. So it was a really well-made cigar. It had kind of a Habano-looking wrapper. It was a little lighter. It was almost like the difference between like a traditional like Habano-looking wrapper or like a natural versus like a Connecticut shade. It was like seemed like it was a shade in between that.
Yeah.
But it was a firm cigar. It was pretty light, so it wasn't overly dense, but it was really smooth and silky. And construction-wise, it was actually pretty flawless. I really like the cigar in terms of the aesthetics. Obviously, there wasn't a band on it, so I can't comment on that. But I'd say overall, it was a fine looking donger.
Yeah, and for mine, it was, here's the thing. You gave me an interesting one because you did something that you gave me a cigar that a lot of manufacturers don't do, brother.
Yeah.
They put on that closed foot.
A wrapped around closed foot, which I was trying to give you something that that wouldn't be super obvious, but that would help you focus on what it could potentially be.
Yeah, and there's only so many brands that I know that do that with any regular production line.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had some ideas, but there's so many. And what was tricky about this cigar is that it has a very thick, dark, marbly wrapper.
Yeah.
I typically see that with Connecticut broadleaf.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, that's about my only best guess on the wrapper.
Yeah.
Very dense. Real kind of coarse, like stone texture. I made Cory touch the wrapper.
Dude,
and I was like, it is like touching a stone.
It was hard as rock.
Yeah.
Just crazy. One part of the cigar was literally as hard as a rock.
Yeah. Minimal veins, but I was like, if I was going to make an educated guess based on all the various different cigars I've smoked with a particular wrapper type, I would have put my money on Connecticut broadleaf. Just off of appearance.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyways. How's the burn for yours?
The burn on mine was pretty fucking good, minus 2 outages that I both experienced right in the last third of the cigar. Other than that, a nice easy draw, full plumes of smoke, which is great. It's always something that I enjoy in a cigar, and it was actually insanely consistent. Nice even burn all the way through. And you have to realize it's a 6x52, right? So when things could go wrong, sometimes in vitolas like that, they do, especially with those outages. You get a little bit of those the pitting in the cigar. Yeah. So it's not unexpected. I was a little disappointed that there was 2 of them. So -2 points for both the outages and relights on the cigar, which happened one right after another, essentially. So it got an 18 out of 20 on the burn score. I would say overall, minus those 2 issues towards the end, it was actually pretty awesome.
Yeah. See, mine, this is where I felt like I was getting more into the Connecticut broadleaf. Because when I started burning it, it was thick, people. Mm-hmm. Thick. You know what I'm saying?
I know what thick means.
I get that with... Probably. Yeah, for those of you who don't know what thick is in the dictionary, look it up.
Yeah.
For any of our 5 or 6 year old listeners, medium gray ash. So now I'm thinking, ooh, are we dealing with Dominican? Are we dealing with some Nicaraguan? I see Nicaraguan play both parts in that type of ash. It's like a medium gray. Fucking dense as shit.
Yeah.
Holy hell, the ash on this thing was crazy. Now, I will say, it was a little tight. Tight like those pussies that come to my door, right?
Right.
Meow. You know? It burned really well. It was very airy. Well, it wasn't really airy. It was a little tight.
Yeah.
But smoke production was a little bit challenged, I want to say. It was a good 2-3 puffer. Yeah. 2-3 puffer's nothing to scoff at. It's like, if I don't get a big mouthful of smoke after 1 puff, this is garbage. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it takes a little bit of effort because I'm dealing with a stone of a cigar.
Yeah.
It's like smoking smoke through a stone.
Yeah.
It's a little porous, but you're going to work for it.
Yeah, that's for sure.
But I thought the smoke was pretty good, all things considered. I did have 1 outage towards the latter part of the cigar, past my whole test. And it just required a relight. It burned really evenly. There's a really, that's one thing I could say about Connecticut, if it is a Connecticut broadleaf, that they always have burned really well.
Yeah.
Very evenly. I think it's because they're very dense. They're very thick, and they're not there's no variance in thickness with a Connecticut broadleaf. I feel like they're very even, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So anyways, pretty good burn experience. Actually, it was more than average. Just 1 relight. It happens, folks.
Yeah.
Good burn. What about your flavor though? This is the thing I want to know, because with such a rare cigar I'm providing you with.
Yeah.
That you probably smoked the last one on planet Earth.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
How was it?
I thought it was pretty good. So at the inception of the cigar, it's actually really sweet, and it kind of it gets pretty earthy pretty quickly. It was a cigar mild in flavor enough to where I felt comfortable retrohaling this very, very frequently through the cigar, which of course, what I love about that process is that you just get more of that full flavor because you're hitting on multiple senses. So for me, on the retrohale, I like that there's an earthiness to it. There's the bitterness that I actually really enjoy in cigars. People know that because I'm a masochist. Yeah. But it actually had a myriad of flavors in it. The only thing that I was really challenged by in the cigar was there's a lot of good flavors, and you can really pick up on those flavors in the retrohale. But if you're just smoking the cigar in a regular fashion, some of those flavors seem to be very muted. They seem to be very dulled.
Oh, you got to unlock your...
So there's good stuff in there, but they're just not so forward as you'd probably hoped and would want that they would be. But it is actually pretty complex. There's a really good, nice complexity to the flavor profile overall it's quite enjoyable. Yeah. So I did like it. I thought the flavor was actually pretty good.
Yeah, with me, I think you picked the right cigar for my palate, bro.
I know.
You know me so well. And I tried to pick one that I know you so well.
You missed, but yeah, continue.
I had some other cigars in mind, but it's really challenging to get certain cigars in this epidemic.
Is it? Hold on. As I look around, I have maybe 500?
Yeah, that's true. Well, I'm not pulling one out of your stock. But you picked one that was like really up my alley, right? Yeah. It was a medium spice heavy cigar right from the get-go. I'm like, oh, he knows me so well. Like if
It's definitely your thing.
Yeah, if Cory was, I never question what Cory's gonna get me for Christmas. I always know it's gonna be good because he knows me so well. And this was what this was. It was like, oh, he knows me so well.
Yeah, I got the thickest, like the thickest, most firm, blackest cigar I could find.
Yeah, and
that's indicative of what you love.
Bitter and earthy and spicy, and I'm like, oh, if you weren't my brother and you were the opposite sex, I would marry you.
Cool.
Yeah. Keep that in mind if you're single. One of us is gonna have to transition though. But dude, what's great is it hits you for a good 10 to 20 puffs of that real rich spice and bitter and earthiness. And then it just mellows out into some creamy, savory bitterness. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, I love that spice is always constant, and I love that.
Yeah.
Don't run. Come back. Sit with me.
Yeah, that is kind of your thing.
Let's enjoy this for the next hour and a half.
Yeah.
Don't run, spice. Stay with me.
Yeah.
Let's fucking spoon. You know?
Yeah.
And that's what I got. It was right up my alley, bro. Good pick. Good pick.
Good. Yeah, I'm glad you liked it. I thought it was
a great flavor.
I wasn't going to give you something the first go around of this that I thought you would think was garbage. Now, next time
we got to throw some curveballs.
Next time there's going to be some curveballs.
We talked about curveballs coming into this,
yeah.
and we both abstained.
Yeah.
we're like,
let's be a little more even keeled on the first go around. All right, so here's the ultimate question. Let's see if we can guess some of the component factors of each one of these cigars, just to see if we can figure out maybe some of the flavor nuances in there and really what they're all about.
Sure.
So what did you think about yours? What are some of the defined flavors and maybe even some of the regions in terms of tobacco that you think that you can extract from your experience?
Sure. I'm still pretty convinced it's a Connecticut broadleaf wrapper. Did I hit that?
No, but you're close.
Fuck.
You actually said it yesterday.
Did I?
Yeah.
Mexican San Andreas?
No. You said it yesterday, and I kind of just went and turned my head the other way.
Did I really?
Yeah. Yeah, you did. Do you want me to give you the wrapper type?
Yeah.
Wrapper type is Pennsylvania broadleaf.
Yeah. Okay.
You're like, it tastes like it's got Pennsylvania, and I was like, huh.
I did say that. I did say that, didn't I?
Yeah, I just turned my head the other way. And actually, that is a component of the filler as well.
I have that in my notes. I have Nicaraguan and Pennsylvanian.
You wouldn't be wrong.
Fuck yeah, bro. I'm getting this down.
Do you know what else is in the filler?
No.
Connecticut.
Really?
You'd have never fucking gotten that.
No, I would have never gotten that. I would have never gotten that at all.
Which honestly could be masked by the fact that there's both Nicaragua and Pennsylvania tobacco in there, which Pennsylvania tobacco, to me, is usually the overwhelming component of flavor in most cigars. So as a part of the filler, an introduction part of the filler, and a part of the wrapper type, that's the predominant flavor I think most of the times you're going to get. And that, honestly, interlaced with Nicaraguan filler, it would be tough to pull or extract anything out of that.
If I had to take a guess at the brand, I think I have a guess, but I know it's the wrong one that I put in my list.
Okay. What do you think it is?
My new answer is Dumbarton and Trust. My first answer was Crown Heads because it eerily reminded me of the Black Lab.
Interesting.
Yeah,
you said you thought the flavors were familiar.
Or I'm sorry, not Dumbarton and Trust. It starts with black, but not Blackbird. The fuck is it called?
Blackworks Studio?
Blackworks.
You'd be right.
Is it really Blackworks?
Yeah.
You know the only reason I thought
Blackworks Studios
is because of the Pennsylvanian.
It's Blackworks Studios Boondocks.
Yeah. Oh, it's the Boondocks.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize it was a close foot.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And the Robusto Vitola. I see. I tried to give you one that I thought would be reasonable for you to kind of deduce and figure out.
Yeah.
Now, apparently mine's impossible. Chris, why don't you tell everybody why it's impossible for me to figure out what it does?
Hey, I don't know what the deal is, people. I thought this was like regular production shit that I was putting in front of them. Apparently it isn't, and I can't find them anywhere. And I do know who it is. I do know what's relatively in it, but I can't give you a specific breakdown.
So I was interested in thinking that, and my first thought so I knew there's a Dominican component to the cigar. I know I have to be right with that.
You're correct with that.
Because I know I nailed that yesterday.
Yeah.
Outside of that, it was tough for me I was thinking maybe Ecuadorian Habano, but I'm not so sure I was accurate with that just because really the predominant flavors I could pull out of it being that kind of subtle bitterness was really indicative that the traditional Dominican fillers that I've really grown to love a lot, the ones that I really, really enjoy. As a brand, I thought it was La Aurora. So that was where my first guess was. Outside of that, I was thinking, I don't know what I was thinking. There was a few other brands where I was like, well, it could be, but those brands are typically all most of them are Nicaraguan puros. So I was like, there's no way it's that because of the Dominican component to it.
It's primarily Dominican.
Yeah, I'm struggling because I don't know. It's not an LFD. I know that.
So
I struggle with this one because I don't know.
This is by association of the people that we went to a tour.
Yeah. Well, it can't be the Chameleon.
No.
Because I was like, if you did that, we just reviewed it and I'd punch you in the skull.
Their brand was interviewed.
Their brand was interviewed.
The owner. But he was associated with.
Oh, no way. It's a blackbird?
It is.
That's a blackbird? Is it the finch?
No.
The cuckoo?
No. It's the nest.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
I would have never guessed that.
2019 release of the nest. It was limited production for pretty much that entire time as far as I'm aware.
Oh, yeah. Those are the ones that came in the bundles. They're insanely inexpensive.
Yeah, and they're like $6.
Yeah. I've had one before. How did I not know that?
But here's the thing.
I don't remember being in that Vitola. That definitely threw me off.
But think about that. $6?
So the nest, the components of the nest. Oh, man, what was in it? I thought I remembered. So obviously the Dominican component.
Yeah. Primarily.
I wonder if was there Sumatran in the nest? I can't remember.
It could be the wrapper type. They're based on the color.
No, I can't. Well, I know like the finch has the Sumatran in it because there was a good sense of sweetness, like I was saying earlier, like as like a sweet creaminess to it. I would have never guessed a blackbird, and I would have never guessed the nest because that was the 20 bundle ones that you could get for like $5 a piece.
Yeah.
It was actually really inexpensive. You bought a whole bundle of them. They're actually pretty good
for $6.
Yeah.
I don't know what they run for now. I saw one place is like if you get your hands on a nest, it's like $16. I'm like, no.
Are you shitting me?
No fucking way,
dude. I think I still have like 2 of them.
Yeah, the nest.
That's weird. I would have never guessed that.
Yeah.
You know what's strange is I was about to pick a blackbird for you.
Really?
Yeah, because I have the finch and the cuckoo, and I think I have. There's 3 other than the crow and the unkind that I have in there, and I can't remember which ones they were, and they weren't special editions. They're ones in the lineup. And I was gonna give you the cuckoo because it's in this humidor right here.
Yeah.
Wow, that would have been weird if we both picked blackbird. I would have never ever guessed blackbird. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
I went with the Dominican cigar. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna give him a Dominican.
Yeah, I mean that's not a curveball. I can usually pick that out.
And I wanted it to be relatively low cost, even though I don't know what the fucking components are.
Right. Well, I will say this. So I will say
see if it was like if you're like, wow, this is a fucking amazing cigar.
Yeah, what I will say is that given the price, me knowing what the nest is, and of course that obviously this is what was broken down, the nest is one that I have to clearly give a 1-point bonus to. Because it's so inexpensive. Like, I mean, it's kind of like the nest reminds me of a cigar that I feel anybody can join or anyone can enjoy. And I even said, like, I like the flavor nuances, but everything kind of seemed to be dulled.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a great cigar for a lot of people who don't smoke a lot of cigars.
Oh, yeah, I can see that.
You know what I mean? Like, this is not going to be a turn-off cigar. It's not going to blow your mind, but it's not going to be a turn-off either.
Yeah.
I'd have to give that a 1-point bonus for sure for the price.
How much was mine?
Yours was just over $9, $9.50.
Oh, I think it's the right price for mine.
Yeah.
Great price.
I would agree. So the ultimate question is given these blind reviews, so yours was the Blackwork Studio Boondocks, mine was the Blackbird Cigar Raven, 2 dark bees.
Yeah.
How weird is that? It's very strange.
That is a bit odd.
That is very strange. Where do you score yours overall?
10 out of 10 on construction. Really great construction. Got to hand it out to Blackworks. 19 out of 20 on burn. It was a little tight, and it led to an outage at the end, closer to the end than I had to relight. 26 out of 30 on flavor. It was right up my alley. It was like I said, perfect selection for someone like me.
Yeah.
91.7, right price, 91.7%.
I totally see that because I love the Boondocks so much so that the first one I had was at a local B&M, and I just went online and bought like 10 of them.
Yeah.
It's a really, really good cigar. I like most of the stuff that comes from Blackworks Trading Company and Blackworks Studio. Like, to me, their cigars are like those. If I'm in the mood for something like very bold and very rich that I would consider more of like a dessert cigar, I'm usually going towards them or like Roma Craft. If I'm looking for something to roundhouse kick me into the fucking mouth, like Chuck Norris standing in front of me, those are the two that I'm going to.
Yeah,
I love most of the stuff from Blackworks Studio and Black Label Trading Company and Emilio. It's all under the same shit. And Dissident. Is that what it is?
Dissident.
Yeah, the other one. Nice. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Great pick. Thank you.
Yeah. I was happy to pick that pick for you.
Yeah.
I give this a 1 point bonus, 10 out of 10 on construction. I actually thought, given such a value cigar, the construction was pretty immaculate on that cigar.
Mm-hmm.
2 challenges, obviously, with the burn. So minus 2 points in that is an 18 out of 20. And I thought the flavor was pretty good. I gave it a 25 out of 30, which I give it a 1 point bonus, which brings the total to 89.3.
Yeah, I think that's pretty good.
I think honestly, for a value cigar, I think it's pretty awesome. And I remember smoking the Nest the first time and really enjoying it. I was like, wow, this is fucking good for the price.
Yeah. I like finding value cigars.
Yeah, I do
but
too.
I also like testing the really expensive ones to see if they're even worth that fucking bit of money.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, me too.
Like $30.
I like doing that, but I like to be more surprised about how good a value cigar is.
Same.
As opposed to being disappointed about how something that is overly premium or has a perception of premium.
If this was regular production and was still kept at the same price point, this would be comparable. It would hang. I wouldn't say it's the better out of the 3, but it would hang with the
Charter Oak
Maduro and the Juarez.
Yeah, I agree.
No doubt.
I agree. It's right in that price range. I think it would hang with them. It would be my third choice out of the 3. But it would certainly be one that I wouldn't be disappointed when I'm smoking.
Definitely not.
That's
it'd be good. Yeah.
Man, wow, that was a good first secret smoke.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that. And I think next time what we should do is probably put some parameters to it, right? We can further define what it is.
Yeah.
So we could say it has to be this kind of thing, has to be this wrapper type.
Weird fucking Vitola.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's like get a Figurado or whatever.
Yeah. I'll get you a Calibra.
Yeah, let's narrow it down from that. I'm just going to take 3 of my cigars and over-humidify them and just twist them together.
Oh, yeah.
And go, figure this one out.
And they're like, what's crazy about the Calibra, I think they said that the ring gauge for each like band is like 36.
Yeah, I mean, well, it can't. I mean, it's got to be malleable enough to actually
probably
wrap,
under bunched too, so it can actually bend.
Right. Oh, of course. Yeah, it's got to have an element of flexibility in it. Yeah, this was fun. I actually like doing the secret smoke. It was pretty cool. Something a little bit different than what we're used to doing.
Yeah, like I want to be a sommelier of fucking cigars.
I was telling you yesterday, I'm going back to the fact that you said, it was weird because you said Pennsylvania, and I literally turned and I was like, ooh. I was like, poker face. Because I was like, yeah, I fucking nailed it.
Yeah.
2 components of the cigar, actually, weirdly enough. Yeah. But you weren't off because Pennsylvania broadleaf looks very similar to Connecticut broadleaf as a wrapper type.
Yeah, yeah.
They're both very dark.
And I would have never suspected a Pennsylvanian wrapper.
Yeah.
Out of the general.
This cigar is different for sure. That's why I picked it. But I knew it was your flavor profile. So I'm like, I got to do this one. This one makes most sense.
It was great.
I definitely didn't want to throw you some weird, strange curveball that you're going to be like, what the fuck? There's no way. There's no way.
Yeah. I like guessing flavors, though.
Yeah, it was really cool.
I like guessing the regions. And I feel like over time we will get better at it, too, just because...
You know what? It's weird. It caused me, as we were smoking yesterday, it caused me to really, really think about it.
Yeah, really. It did.
I actually much enjoyed that process more than knowing. Dude, I was concentrating so fucking hard. Like, there was a point in the moment where I smoked the cigar and I was like, there's Dominican in here. I know. It's like it hit me and I was definitely Dominican filler for sure. It was weird how you just like pick up on those things. Yeah. Very strange, but also a lot of fun too.
But that comes with smoking so many different types of cigars.
Yeah, and paying attention to what you're smoking, right?
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, it was good. Cheers to an awesome secret smoke first time around.
Yeah.
Four Roses Friday.
Sponsor.
I wish. That'd be fucking awesome.
That'd be wild.
Oh my God. It'd be awesome if every bourbon company in the world would sponsor this. That'd be very cool. But anyway, hey, that's our time.
That's our time.
That concludes
Thanks, Google.
episode 147. It's hard to believe we're at 147. And I want to say this because I haven't said it in a while, and I really do appreciate we get good audience interaction on social media. We get a lot of people that we get to, there's a ton of people we get to talk to. We actually have some interviews that we're lining up. So there's all kinds of exposure and things that we do and people do for us, but don't take for granted the fact that we have a really awesome listenership, a ton of good interaction on social media, people who really admire and appreciate the things that we're doing. And this is my cheap plug for this because we're going to start doing more of them. Just as a litmus test, I've been adding obviously everything to YouTube and not really pushing it that hard, but giving an audience just another means to listen and expose themselves to our podcast. And of course, we video these so you can see them. That being said, we're going to do some more quick reviews. There's one up on YouTube now that you can see, which I did was the Todos Las Dias. Yeah. It's under 3 minutes, so it's super digestible. You can go onto YouTube and you can go and check that out. For anybody who interacts with us on social media knows that I literally, if someone comments, I comment back. Even when it's overwhelming, even when I've got thousands of messages that I scroll through and all the comments, I mean, if I miss something, it's by total fucking accident, not because I'm just not interested. So same goes for YouTube. So leave a comment, let us know how you like it, give us the thumbs up, and then subscribe to the page. And then hit the little notification button so that every time we release something, you'll be the first to see it. Yeah. So it's youtube.com, and you can check us out, Hot Ticket Weekly on there. Search for it. You'll find it pretty easy.
Yeah, and like I feel like we're your mother, And I know we got to feed you all the time.
Yep.
So don't be afraid just to latch on to a teat.
Yeah. The content teat.
Because this milk of content, you're going to love it.
It's never going to dry up.
It's never going to dry up. As long as you keep sucking, it's never going to go away.
Yeah, definitely not. It's going to be there forever.
I've seen a 14-year-old milk on a woman in Europe. As long as you suck on this teat, that milk ain't ever going to run out.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's right. That being said, I'm probably going to release another review next week. So I think I'm going
to try my hand at a video, like one of the short 3
Dude,
minutes.
I would love for you to do it because it takes me so long to do. I would rather not be the one to do it all the time. But I really like shooting the videos.
Don't scare me away from it now.
No, it's fun. I'll produce it.
It sounds more fun. It sounds more fun.
Oh, it's way more fun. I'll produce it if you shoot it and do it.
Okay.
For me, it's a ton of fun. I really enjoy the process. I like doing it, and I get a chance to be me. Through the written process, but in video form.
Yeah, totally.
So check that out. Also check out our sponsor, mycigarpack.com. They've launched a new website, so a bunch of goodies on there. So please go and check them out. People always ask me like subscription-based stuff, especially given COVID-19, and I'm directing people to mycigarpack.com. You can use our promo code HOT10 for 10% off your first pack, which is a hell of a deal because I believe the prices were already even lowered below that. So some really good cigars coming out from our buddy Alex. So please go and check them out and COVID-19 the fuck out of that and get your shit online. That being said, that'll conclude episode 147. We'll be back at you next week with episode 148. See you, everyone. Yay. Right in the old TD.